I just hope you all had a lovely weekend. Although situation here in Europe is not that good, but I think we all should stay positive and things will get better. And today we will go on a short journey to some great destinations. And I'm very happy that we can provide you the latest updates about some of these destinations, which is Arabian Explorers, which is United Arab Emirates, Oman, then followed by Arabian Link Travel. You get the updates from Qatar, RAD Travel for Iran, Isram Israel for Israel, and Travco Jordan for Jordan. But before we start with the updates, I just would like to give you some information about STR Destination. STR Destination Handling, we got founded in the year 1980, and I would say we are one of the most established sales and marketing offices in the German-speaking region. And with the opening of this STR CEE office in the year 2008, we also cover the Eastern European source markets. We can provide you more than 30 selected incoming agencies in our portfolio, and with over 70 destinations worldwide. And as I already told you before, some destinations you will get the latest updates today. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat box and we will answer all the questions at the end of the whole presentation. So we will start first with our colleague Nicole. She's General Manager from Arabian Explorers in Oman. Hello, Nicole. Great to have you with us together with Christine. She will follow later on. And Nicole, could you please be so kind and give us your updates about Oman?
Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole from Arabian Explorers Muscat. And you can take the next slide, please. Can you do that? Oh, I have to put my glasses. Okay. So Oman is in a very good situation at the moment because we have hardly any new cases at the moment. It comes like this because the summer season is over where everybody's inside in the AC room. So now with the pleasant weather we have in the meantime, everybody's out. So we have at the moment average less than 10 infections per day. The current active cases are quite low with 465 approximately, and just 13 persons hospitalized, out of it 3 in ICUs. The overall number of cases obviously is not a very low one. Also the death cases are quite high, but the vaccination rate is, this is something shifted here. Anyway, the vaccination rate is with 60% quite high. They even vaccinate the children now. So for you, the most important to know is how you can enter Oman. So you need 2 vaccinations, of which the second one should be not shorter than 15 days prior to your travel date. And you need a valid negative PCR test. And on the list, there is the vaccinations which are approved to enter Oman. It's quite a wide range. I think most of the common vaccinations are mentioned here. Furthermore, the clients have to download Sharif, which is an app where they have to upload the vaccination certificates and the PCR tests by QR code. And otherwise, Oman is open. What we have at the moment still is when you enter restaurants or malls, that you have to show this Sharif app, that they can see that you are vaccinated and you have a PCR test done. But otherwise, Oman is open. Everything is accessible. There are a few forts closed, which has nothing to do with COVID. They just took the chance to renovate them in the meantime, and they still have not opened. So for this kind of things, please come back to me on your requests. But otherwise, luckily, we are really in good shape in Oman at the moment, and I hope it remains like this till end of the season. That's what I have from Oman so far.
Thank you so much, Nicole. These are very, very good news for Oman, and I think you will hand over directly to Christina. Thank you, Christina, for being with us. And wait, I just give you the next slide, and happy to hear the updates from the Emirates.
Yes, great. Hello, everyone. My name is Christina. I'm doing the UAE part of the Arabian Explorers. And just an overall overview right now, the situation in the UAE is pretty good. COVID is not really such a big topic anymore. Dubai is open since last summer already, so basically everyone can travel into Dubai. Hotels are open and up to full capacity again, 100%. Same goes to the restaurant. All the attractions are open. There are social distancing in place in all the attractions in the restaurant, which is 1 to 1.5 meters, and masks mandatory everywhere outside, basically. So the moment you leave your hotel room, you need to wear a mask also outside. This is the case right now, but I'm pretty sure we will go remove this soon. Other than that, yeah, I mean, everything is open, is accessible, and entry regulations to Dubai are very simple. You basically need to have a negative PCR test, not older than 72 hours. This is valid for almost every country. Some passengers from certain countries from Europe, it's only Romania and Slovakia, they will be tested again upon arrival at the Dubai airport, and the test is free. So if you get tested at the airport, you basically would need to stay in your room till you get the test result, but don't worry, because the test result is coming within 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours, so it's very, very fast. Some new special regulations which started from the 31st of October are for passengers from France, Germany, Spain, and Switzerland. It started as a trial, but it's ongoing now until further notice. So if you are a passenger from these countries, you either can present a PCR test, or if you are fully vaccinated, you can travel as well with that to Dubai. You don't need to have a PCR test anymore. This is right now the status. So yeah, it basically counts for these 4 countries. Then we have the entrance regulations to Abu Dhabi, which is a little bit different. So if you arrive at the Abu Dhabi airport, first of all, if you're fully vaccinated, regardless from which country, you don't need to go into quarantine. So Abu Dhabi, you have to be vaccinated both, so 2 doses, and you need to have a PCR test not older than 48 hours. Upon arrival at the Abu Dhabi airport, you get tested again, everyone, regardless where you're coming from. And you basically need to wait till your result comes out in order to then leave the room. But again, here as well, the test result comes very, very fast. So you don't need to worry that, you know, you need to spend a day or something in the room. Then there are specific quarantine guidelines. I mean, basically, if you're from a green list country, which can be checked in the Abu Dhabi or Etihad websites, a majority of the European countries are on the green list right now. So if you're vaccinated on a green list, you don't need to do quarantine. Also, if you're vaccinated and not from a green list country, you don't need to go into quarantine. You just do the test on arrival. And then you have basically the test schedule here. So you can see it. I mean, another test will be done, and this is then payable by the client. But the test costs in Abu Dhabi are very cheap. It's, if I'm correct, around 50 dirhams per person, which is around like $10. Then the next slide. Yes. So special as well for Abu Dhabi is basically the process of entering Abu Dhabi. Everyone has to register in the ICA app or in the ICA website. So you will need to upload basically your vaccination certificate, and you need to do this 5 days prior. So then basically the government links all your informations, and you will get a QR code by email. And we can do the next slide. With this QR code, you can link then the Al Hassan app. So in Abu Dhabi, everyone needs to have the green status in Al Hassan app. With this green status, you basically are allowed to enter hotels, attractions, anything. So if you're not vaccinated and you don't have the green status, basically you cannot go anywhere in Abu Dhabi. They will not allow you go anywhere. Securities are all in front of the malls, in front of the hotels, and they are checking this green status. The procedures are very simple. I mean, I can send this as well again, so you have the full details and what to do in order to get the green status. Right now, okay, we can do the next slide. So then I'm going to explain. Yeah, entry regulations. If you go to Abu Dhabi via Dubai. So this is, for example, if you arrive at the Dubai airport and you go straight to Abu Dhabi, then again, basically the green status Al Hassan app will count, but because you're arriving and go immediately to Abu Dhabi, the international PCR test is valid, so they acknowledged it. But if you're staying in Dubai and you go to Abu Dhabi for a city tour, for example, then you will need to do the PCR test here in the UAE, which basically will turn your Al Hassan app to a green status. I mean, the Al Hassan app is nothing else than the digital version of your vaccination certificate and the negative PCR test. So this is the specialty for Abu Dhabi. And yeah, that's from my side so far.
Thank you very much, Christina, for this update. So for Dubai, actually, it's quite simple. For Abu Dhabi, you need to have a little bit more. And thank you so much. And please stay until the end in case we have some questions.
Thank you.
Please mute your microphone. And I'm very happy to welcome Kathy. She's Senior Tours Executive from RAD Travel in Qatar. And I'm so happy that you will give us your latest updates about the situation and entry regulations to Qatar.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm here to explain to you what's the regulations now in Doha, what's the policy now, and what's going on in Qatar. Currently, looking forward to the events happening and going on in Doha. Actually, people are so busy and visitors are keep on coming due to these events ongoing. Here we have the Arab Cup opening, and now for the visitors coming in Doha, it's not actually same as like that we all know that we have the ongoing COVID situation, but for the visitors it's very easy to come in, especially for those vaccinated. They don't need to have quarantine when they arrive. They will only have to have the PCR swab test before coming in 72 hours before the flight, and then they can have at least required to have at least 2 vaccines of the one listed recognized vaccine here. We have the Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, Janssen. And apart from that, before coming in Doha, they have to have the ETIRAS application on their mobile phones, because this is what they're going to be required to present in any of the establishment if ever they're going for restaurants, to go to some museums, everywhere they're looking for this one. It's like an ID for them that they are vaccinated and they are free from the COVID virus. So right now, currently, actually, everything is normal. Only though outdoor and indoor, we have to wear the mask. And of course, social distancing is still observed. And apart from that, all the parks are all open. Restaurants are open. Transportation, though we still observe right now, 75% of the capacity is allowed. Buses, public buses, trains are open as well. So everything is like, we're so positive and everything, it's like we don't feel like still there is COVID, of course, but we have to wear the mask all the time. Now, looking forward to the policies, can we go to the next slide? Okay, these are the ones I was telling you about earlier for the policy. For the green listed, mostly European countries are free from the quarantine. children traveling with their parents, with their companions, are free also for the quarantine if they are age 12 and above. Although for the ones unvaccinated, this is the one that they should have to take care of it, because they need a home, they need to be quarantined for home. And sorry. Okay, I'm sorry for the interruption. Okay, like what I said, for the green listed, everything is same like you travel normally. You don't have to worry on anything, because you can pass the immigration and reach to your hotel normally without worrying on anything. There's no PCR as well when you arrive in Doha. This is for the Europeans. And can we go back to the next slide? Okay, these are the countries that are currently on red listed. And mostly Asians are here. Some of the European countries like Romania and Russia is here as well, and Turkey, and of course UK. So these are the ones that when they arrive, they need to have the PCR on arrival, things like that. And then the third one, we have the exceptional red list. These are mostly for some of the Asian countries and European countries as well. And going back to like what I said, for the policies that we have here in Doha, everything is like normal. Restrictions still, there are still some restrictions for the restaurants and the transportation, museums, but everything is normal. All parks, all the public areas are open. Thank you.
Kathy, thank you so much for giving this information about Qatar, which looks also very well. And please, Kathy, stay with us until the end and be so kind to mute your microphone and the video. And I'm very happy now to welcome Simon, Managing Director from Isram, Israel. Simon, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Yes, definitely. So please go ahead and give us your updates about Israel.
Hi to everyone. I decided this time not to put it in writing, as it's so difficult to understand and read everything in writing, and I'll try and say it as easy as possible. Firstly, unfortunately, due to the South African variant that has just been opened up to the world, Israel from last night have closed the airport for the next 2 weeks for tourists to come to Israel. So this is a big, upset for all of us, because we hope that Christmas would bring the first tourists that are coming back to Israel. But due to this variant, the government has decided to close Israel for 2 weeks. We hope when they see that the variant will not enter Israel, and at this stage, there's a very few cases of the variant entering, this will be lifted. Now, if I just want to say what the situation was before this was put into place last night at midnight, and what we hope is going to carry on after the airport will reopen for tourists. Now, I'm talking about tourists from all over the world. It's a general close down for all tourists to enter Israel. What it was before, from the 1st of November, tourists were allowed to come to Israel. Tourists that have had the 2 vaccinations of all of the companies that have been mentioned here, I won't mention them again, and also the Russian one as well. And as long as it has been, the second one has been less than 6 months before the arrival is to Israel. If the second vaccination was more than 6 months, Then they have to have a booster as well, which is the third one, which has now been allowed for, it's opening up all over Europe and in the States now, that from the age of 5 and up, they are giving now vaccinations, the 2 vaccinations and the booster. So only people that will have the 2 vaccinations, the less than 6 months and the booster, will be allowed into Israel. Unfortunately, it's going to take time till everybody will have the booster, but this is the situation. For these people, it's very simple. They have to arrive with a PCR upon arrival, and that's it. And they enter Israel 24 hours before. They fill in the health online, which vaccinations they have. They get the green card immediately. They go to the hotel, and again, as was discussed, I think it was from the Emirates, that within 4 or 5 hours you have the answer to the hotel, the negative answer, and they are free to go out. They have the green card, and they can go everywhere. Everywhere in Israel is open. In fact, this week is a holiday in Israel, and there are very, very big theater shows for all of the children that are on vacation this week, with thousands of children going to be at these shows. So it's a positive sign that the government hasn't closed off that as well. And all of the internal things are remain the same, which means that everything is open. We have no regulation at all here for anything. The only thing is that inside you have to wear a mask, outside you don't need a mask. In regarding people that have not had the 2 injections or the booster, which means they've had the vaccination, the 2 vaccinations, but it's more than 6 months. These people can come into Israel, which means from 5 people and up, as a group, which means if you have 5 people, for example, they can come as a closed group in a private car situation, that they have to be picked up at the airport, taken to the hotel. The guide is with them the whole time. So it's like a closed capsule of a group from 5 people and up. They have to arrive on the same day and depart on the same day. It's a difficult thing to comply. But that is what it is. Until the health ministry here will decide to open up everybody for that as well. But it's talking about the people who do not have a booster or do not have the 2nd vaccination only. And for those people entering, they have to again have the 2 PCR tests, 1 on arrival and 1 after 3 days. And then they are finished with all the tests, and they can travel and be with a guide or be with a private guide and, go out and do anything that they want. So this is the situation at the moment. We hope and pray that this 2-week period will be finished very quickly, and maybe before, if the government will decide to lift it. And again, we are at least, the positive is that from the 1st of November, at least tourists that have the booster are allowed into Israel, which was a very positive thing, because until that date, 1st of November, no tourist was allowed into Israel, which was a very difficult declaration for us as travel agents, hotels, guides, and everything else. So we are pleased that that's open, and we hope and pray that things will go back into a better situation with this new variant that has now hit the world as well. And it won't affect us or Europe, but we don't know yet. And let's hope for better times.
Simon, thank you. Thank you so much for your update. I'm sure that after the 2 weeks, it will go back to the regulations you had before. We keep fingers crossed, and we pray that this new virus is not as bad as people are thinking. So thank you very much, Simon. Please stay with us in case we do have some questions. Thank you. So I'm very happy now to have Sajjad with us, Managing Director from RAD Travel, Iran. Hello, Sajjad. So nice to see you after quite some time. I hope you are doing well, and we are looking forward to your updates about Iran.
Hello. Good morning, all my friends and colleagues. I hope you are also doing healthy and fine. I'm glad to have this opportunity to share with you the latest news about Destination Iran. Thanks, Oliver, Petra, Ahlam, Isabel, and STR team. And I see Doris also is here. So happy to see you again. The first good news is that we are almost in the final phase of vaccination of Iranian people, and in average, almost 70% of the population have been vaccinated, which 65% already received both doses, and 85% received the first dose of vaccine. And from end of October, the government also has started the booster dose for the people who have been vaccinated earlier. So also the school students are vaccinated for both dose, and the schools are open. From the prediction of the government, the vaccination will be finished by end of January, hopefully. And positively, we did not have much resistance against vaccine, and people welcome vaccination in cooperation with the government. The great news for us was the came up on November 1st, where the touristic visa was opened or reopened from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we are able to issue visa for all nations except those countries considered as high risk in the website of WHO. So all the nations can come except those who are high risk countries in WHO website. And to enter Iran, it's easy. The tourist needs to provide the vaccine card, which shows the received both dose of vaccine, and also they need to provide PCR negative test valid from 96 hours before. The visa procedure is the same as before, and you have to provide us the copy of passport, digital photo, and fill up the application form, and the visa grant notice will be ready in a week, hopefully. As we also confirmed several tours in the winter, and the first one would be the New Year Eve, hopefully, we are obligated to operate all the tours under COVID-19 protocols, in which we will care the health measure to be executed during the tour, and all the transportation, restaurants, hotels must meet disinfection protocols. All the organizers, such as our tour guides, drivers, hotels and restaurants staff, and also the staff of sightseeing, received both doses of vaccine and ready to serve your customer with full care. During the pandemic, we also trained and updated our staffs, tour guides and driver in our RAD Travel Academy to be ready for coming back to the normal business after long resilience with solidarity towards tourism regeneration. And finally, I can say that all the infrastructure are ready to host international tourists in Iran, and Persian hospitality is still unique to serve you the best sense of travel experience. If you have any question, I will be glad to answer, and I'm here for you. That's all.
Sajjad, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For this update, and hopefully that, as you said, for Christmas, you can already welcome the first tourists to Iran. Sajjad, please be so kind and stay also with us until the end. And I'm happy to have Paolo with us now, General Manager from Travco Jordan. Hello, thank you for being with us, Paolo. And I hope that you also have good news for us from Jordan. We don't hear you, Paolo. Your microphone is still mute.
Good morning, everyone.
Perfect.
And it's a pleasure to see you again, colleagues and partners. Actually, the situation in Jordan is very positive. As you all know, the population of Jordan is around 10 million. So far, we have 85% of the population that are entitled to the vaccine. They are vaccinated. And now the government has published that we can take the third shot for the booster. The situation is stable. But as the rest of the world, throughout the past week, we are having an increase in infections. Okay, but so far the hospital situation is stable. I mean, not due to the fact that many people has been vaccinated. The hospitals and the cases are not getting very much severe. So we can say that it is in Jordan, the situation is contained. We can go to the second slide, please, Ata. The general safety measures in Jordan are not as harsh or severe as you can see. Basically, the social distance is a must. The mask is a must in crowded places and closed places. Everywhere in Jordan, you can find the hygiene, the sterilizers. The capacities of the buses are up to 75% maximum, and the transportation. So a mask and the shield are a must during your tour and during roaming into Jordan. Can we go to the second slide? Generally speaking, the latest news, in addition to the opening that has been done in the 1st of July, on the 1st of September, no curfew is applicable in Jordan. All restaurants, sites, bars, hotels are operating normally under the safety measures. And of course, we are receiving tourists from all over the world as of September 1st, and provided with the certain conditions that I'll talk about them in the last slide. Generally speaking, now due to the Omicron, which is the latest strain, the only country that is prohibited from coming into Jordan are from Africa, South Africa. So for the rest of the world, it is open. This news has been published already yesterday. Entry regulation to Jordan is very easy and very simple. All what you have to do is a PCR test for everyone, vaccinated or not vaccinated guests. They have to do a PCR test 72 hours prior of arrival with a negative result, of course. Then you have to upload to enter into a gateway, which is a platform. It's called gatewaytojordan.gov.jo, where you upload the PCR test. And if you are vaccinated with the 2 shots, you upload your vaccine, and you don't have to do another PCR test. But if you're not vaccinated, you have to do another PCR test upon arrival, and you have to pay a $40 charge for the PCR test. Generally speaking, there is a new condition that for the guest who is vaccinated and who had the COVID, so it is considered as a double vaccination person. So as you can see, Jordan is open. We are receiving tourists already since the month of June. We are proud and glad to inform you that we have received also our first cruise ship with around 2,500 passengers on board, who has in October, who has done really 100% of the passengers has done excursions, and they have enjoyed Petra, Wadi Ram, and all the Golden Triangle. In addition, we are receiving charters from East Europe, West Europe, and regular groups also from different countries in Europe, such as Italy, France, Germany, of course, and definitely the charters are arriving from Bulgaria, Russia, Belarus, and different other countries that they are enjoying their vacations in Jordan. We don't see any kind of closures in the coming future. Things are stable in Jordan and they are very well controlled. And we see that things hopefully by January, February, they are going to be set and opened regularly for the business, even though that we are now open regularly for the business and we are hosting tourists. Generally speaking, this is the update of Jordan, and we hope to see you very soon in Jordan, everyone.
Paolo,
thank you very much. I'm here to answer your questions if there are any.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Paolo, for this update. Are there any questions? Just let me check the chat box. Yes, and there is one for Christina for UAE. There are actually one question about Abu Dhabi. Are the tests available in the hotels as well? Because you mentioned, or one slide was mentioned that when you arrive, you need a test after 4 days, or for some even 2 tests. Can this be done in the hotels as well?
Some hotels have partnerships with clinics, basically, where they offer, that nurses come into the hotel and do the PCR test there. It's definitely more expensive, right? Usually these prices for the PCR test that the hotels are offering are around 200, 250 dirhams per person. If you go outside, I mean, Abu Dhabi has many, many clinics. You can basically do a PCR test in any clinic in any hospital. So you can just go with a taxi. There is a lot of drive-through stations as well. So it's very simple to do a PCR test in Abu Dhabi and Dubai.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. One more question from Austria, actually. You mentioned the special regulations for Germany, France, Switzerland. Is this also valid for Austria?
Unfortunately not. No, Austria is not on the list. So it's really just for these 4 countries that are mentioned.
Okay, so they need to do a PCR test.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. And one more question for Nicole. Is it possible to do a combination Oman and UAE with the current situation?
Yes, border crossing is not a problem. However, wherever they start, they need to do a PCR test before crossing the borders.
Okay.
So also in Oman, there is a chance to do it in any clinic for quite a low amount. There are less hotels which have contracted hospital for coming to the hotel to do the PCR test. So in Oman, it's more going to the clinics. But either way, you come from Dubai to Oman, you have to do a PCR test, and vice versa as well.
Okay, perfect.
But it's possible.
Great.
And I forgot to mention before, just one thing, we have also mask compulsory inside, outside, huh?
Outside
so
also?
Outside also, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nicole. And one more question about Iran. Sajjad, in one of the slides, it was mentioned vaccine cards. You have to present a vaccine card. Is that okay in English?
Yes, the vaccine card should be in English.
Okay, perfect.
So in the border, they will check. You need both PCR negative and also both dose of vaccine. So by this, you can enter to the country.
So, okay, if you have an international vaccine certificate, this will count as the vaccine card.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sajjad. So I think this have been all the questions. Yes, no more question. All the other things have been very clear. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Can I ask a question, Petra, to Christina? Just can't send it by.
Okay, so please ask Simon.
Christina, hi. If you are landing in Dubai and staying in Dubai and you go for a one-day tour to Abu Dhabi, coming back at night, are there any restrictions on this for the tourists, or what happens in that case?
Yes. So basically, if you're staying in Dubai and you want to do a city tour to Abu Dhabi, you need to have the green status in Al Hassan app. In order to get this green status on the Al Hassan app, you get it only if you're fully vaccinated and if you have a negative PCR test made in the UAE. So you will need to do a PCR test in Dubai. I mean, if you have the app, this basically then will upload your status automatically to green, and then you're able to go to Abu Dhabi.
Okay,
Or
thank you very much.
to visit the attractions. Welcome.
Thank you, Simon. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, another question for Paolo. How are you doing, Paolo?
Good. I'm good, Simon. Thank you.
Question to you as follows. As you know, we can depart, not arrive from the land borders, which means Allenby Bridge, Sheikh Hussein, etc. We cannot have arrivals, but the groups can arrive in Israel and depart and go to Jordan from the land borders. What is is there any special entries that are different at the land borders than at the airport that the tourists have to do?
Actually, at the moment, as you know, Simon, there are a limited number of passengers that can pass in and go out from the land borders. Nevertheless, it's the same. They are the same regulations as entering from the airport. So all what you have to do is to fill the gateway, the platform, and to have a PCR test a valid PCR test with a negative result that is 72 hours prior of arrival. Okay. So basically, these are the conditions. Nothing more, nothing less.
Thank you, Paolo.
You're welcome, Simon.
So can I sum up the last question to make it clear for everyone? It is allowed to enter from Israel to Jordan by land border. If Israel is open again after 2 weeks, I'm sure it will, then it's allowed. You can go to Jordan, but not the other way around. You are not allowed to go from Jordan to Israel on the land border. Correct, Simon?
At this stage, that is correct information.
Okay, so that's all. Thank you very much for this very interesting information. I thank very much Nicole and Christina from Arabian Explorers, Kathy from Arabian Links, Sajad from RAD Travel, Simon from Isram, Israel, and Paolo from Travco for being with us, giving all these updates. And of course, we recorded the whole webinar and we will send all participants the recording so that you can have a second look at it if you don't get everything clearly. Thank you very much. I wish all of you a lovely week. Please stay well, stay healthy, and hope to see you all very soon in person again. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.